Welcome back to the Compressor Guru. Folks, I think we might have a slight misunderstanding. The Guru shows you in videos all the time how to fix your compressor. Yet, he is getting phone calls from people saying, "Hey, I saw how to fix my compressor. What company do I order parts from?" Folks, the company is thecompressorguru.com, because the Compressor Guru has been stocking an inventory of new and some used parts for your most common compressors. And he has a great selection. He can also get parts for other compressors most of the time. When you need that special part for your compressor to fix it the way he's shown you, please contact the Compressor Guru. In this video, the Compressor Guru is going to tear down a 15T. And now here's the Compressor Guru.
Welcome. So today we're doing a 15T. It's an Ingersoll. It's a big pump. It's two-stage, and it is driven by either a 20 or 25 horse electric motor. And we're going to tear it down. We have two of these to do. This is the worst of the two because it turns part way one way and locks up. So I suspect there's a problem in it. Why don't you put in the comments right now why you think it won't go further than that? And I appreciate the comments. You know, it always helps the algorithm to hit well, I like you to subscribe too, but it always helps the algorithm to like and leave comments. So I appreciate it if you just leave a comment, make a guess what you think it'll only turn so far one way is. Anyway, we did a little prep work so we didn't bore you with a bunch of fast forward. I got the nut loose, which is a 2 1/8 nut, and I had to borrow a socket out of my for sale inventory, and got the puller set up. I think this is a tapered shaft on this. I am not sure. In any event, we put it down low, and we're going to set it the rest of the way on the ground after this is done, and we're going to pull this wheel off. That's step one. No, that's step two. Step one was last night. I took PB Blaster and hit all the air lines, the control lines, the breather lines, the unloader lines with a little shot of PB Blaster so they came off easy. I also hit this nut, and that nut came off easy today. I'm very lucky. So anyway, on to work. Hey, look at that. And you'll notice, once I got the nut off, I put it part way back on, so when this popped off, and it is a tapered shaft, it didn't fall all the way to the floor. And I put it down just in case something went wrong and this didn't fall 5 feet. Because, you know, this forklift is a great workbench. It goes to the level you need. So we're going to pull this wheel the rest of the way off. Left overhang. There we go. That's why we do it close to the ground, folks. So this is the other 15T. We're going to tear it down off camera, but I just wanted to show it to you real quick. I have to wonder if they had a clogged discharge line, because look at the burnt paint here. On this side or this side of the manifold, the paint's not burned, so it wasn't the ambient temperature. I have to wonder if they had a clogged discharge line, perhaps full of carbon from using oil. But this is the better of the two. But I wanted to show you the other one first, so back to that. Ken also has Koine Korner. Am I saying it right, Ken?
You sure are.
Okay. And it is not a Bible lesson, so to speak. It is teaching the old Greek that the New Testament was written in, and the translations of it. But I don't watch it for that because I'm never going to learn to speak Koine. But why I do watch it is the understanding of the words really helps me in my walk. You know, I make it no secret that I'm a believer, and I'll leave a link to Ken's channel in the description. Many of his episodes have made me meditate and think on what I have read and what I'll reread again in the New Testament. And, you know, I've heard for years words mean things. And when you hear what the original word was, you really get such a strong understanding of what the verse means when you finally get to it. So, you see how easy these lines are coming off? Oh, by the way, Ken, did I describe your channel right? And
Perfectly.
I mean, I described why I watch it right. But so, you see how easy these lines are coming off. I can't say for sure, but I'm confident that giving them 24 hours of PV Blaster does help. Uh-oh. Spoke a whisker too soon.
So can I ask a question?
Of course, they'll ask questions all day long. I edit most of them out.
So watching you work on all these fittings, I notice that you're not using fitting wrenches. Is there a rationale behind that?
Speed. If I hit a tight one, I have fitting wrenches out in the service truck. And the only rationale is I use those for tight ones. It's one line. Oh, helps if I go the right way. The other part of the rationale for the open end wrench, these are good open end wrenches. The tolerances are right at 1/2 inch or whatever the fitting size is. And if you have a Chinese wrench or an old wore out wrench, like maybe an old Craftsman that's been around for years, and you know, it may not hook onto the nut quite as well. But these are very nice wrenches. These are my SK Super Chromes, and I very much like them. I have a second set of wrenches that if we have to, I may not have sprayed that one, I'm not sure. I have a second set of wrenches. If I have to hammer on them, I hammer on the other set. And I've had helpers go to hammer on one of these, and it only takes me a second to tell them to stop. I'll get them an old wrench to hammer on. I've had these wrenches for years, and as you can see, they're nice.
And not all wrenches are created equal.
Amen. I actually bought a set of V8 wrenches, which is a brand name for a Chinese company. Boy, that's in a difficult place. Tell you what we're going to do. We're going to take this cover off before we try to get that one. So in here, it may be very difficult to see, but there's 4 bolts holding this piece of tin on. We're going to take those bolts off so I can more easily get to that last fitting. And if they're all this hard, I'm going to go get a ratchet. Maybe not. Okay, there, that's a whole lot better. Let's take that last line off. Boy, oh, there's a extra port there. That's what I'm hitting.
Under a protective layer of sawdust.
Yeah. Friends, let me give you a tip right now. Make it part of your regular maintenance to get a blowgun and do what you can to blow these fins out. If you're in a dirty environment, do it at least once a month. This was in a sawmill. So we're going to go to power now, and we're going to knock the outside off with the impact wrench. And Ken, you watch my channel some. What's the rule with impact wrenches?
Always off, never on.
Cameraman, because he knows the rule. So we're taking the key out now because the next thing we're going to do is take the seal housing out. And I don't think the seal will go past the top of that key. Sometimes these are easy. Sometimes they aren't. Yeah, easy. You guys have seen the other side of this story where they aren't.
Nice and easy.
Absolutely. We recording?
Yes.
The reason we pulled that key before we pulled this is to get this off easier. This is your seal housing, and I don't think the seal would have gone past the top of the key. I know it wouldn't have. So, there we go. The inside isn't all corroded and carboned up. That's a good thing. And just interesting, see the oil in the bottom of the area here. This is not a pressure lubricated pump. And I find it very interesting that the rods kick enough oil over the top of the bearings to get that much oil into this end of the pump. It's just interesting that oil can travel that far simply by being splashed. So this is the unloader assembly. Not all 15Ts and 7Ts and 10Ts have these, but this is a better machine, and it's meant to be able to run start-stop or continuous start. And it's easier to get these off before you pull the head. Very much like the Quincy's. If we do this in an order, it's easier to come apart the whole way down through. So, interesting. So as we're tearing apart, it looks like that sawdust, fine sawdust, evidently was getting everywhere. That's inside an air passage. Okay, and guys, don't just say that's a piston. These pistons, there's no ring on there. I had a terrible time with the tolerances on one of these at a quarry, and I will research what the tolerance is. I don't remember. But these can seem tight, but will need replaced depending on the tolerances. It's not the O-ring that works alone. That has to be a very nice, neat fit inside that cylinder. Okay. This is an unloader. This is the pins that go down and disable the intake valve. And judging from the way it was down in there, that should spring up. I'd say the springs are broken or gone, because that should be elevated like that, being held up by springs. So there's an issue here. So that may be one of our issues when we go further. Okay, I'm going to put that one back in just a little bit. So when it all come out, this doesn't fall. Now, if memory serves, the discharge valve is countersunk down into the cylinder. But not this one. Good thing I didn't just leave it go or it fell on the floor. That's not right. That's not right at all. Somebody's been in this. It's going to be interesting to look at the other ones, because I wondered about this. Because one of the reasons we took that unloader chimney off is because that nut was supposed to, that might have been, oh, we may have the answer to our question. That nut's missing. And I got to think about this, but there should have been a nut on there holding that. And this is so oversized. So it had room to go down around the nut. And that nut holds this valve up in there. Question is, somebody's been in this and had it apart. Maybe that's why all these lines are nice and loose. They were nice and loose. So we're going to keep working. We're moving to the other side next. We'll pop that one next. And hopefully it'll be intact in the right way. Same situation. However, this is a suction valve, or this is the low pressure. Same situation. However, this is the low pressure side. What we took apart over there was your high pressure piston. Ah, look at that. That's the right way it goes. So somebody was obviously into the other side. That's not right either, but that's the unloader. And I got to get a big socket. Yeah, they've been in this too. That shouldn't be that loose. Now I'm going to leave that there. And we're going to knock the 3/4 bolts out. We may have Ken back, or we may have the camera wife back. By the way, the camera wife, she's getting her mom out of the hospital today. And Ken was kind enough to come in and volunteer. I don't imagine he'll get as many love letters as the camera wife does.
Well, it wouldn't make a difference. My wife doesn't let me date.
Okay, mine frowns upon it. Okay, that's the way it should come off. You see how it didn't? Because that's held on there. This is the intake valve. We're going to take this the rest of the way off and pull that out. And the other valve parts are missing. All the valve parts are missing. They've been through this. The valve disc, the round spring. The intake discharge is all missing. It was missing on the other side too. And I'll split this. This isn't nothing but a bunch of air passages, and we'll split that and clean it up later.
So this machine was completely not operational.
Oh no. And I thought, folks, the valve on this side, that's okay.
Oh yeah, no movement at all in here.
Yeah, we're able to turn it all the way over now. The valve being unhooked in this side was the reason this wouldn't go. The way it felt, I'm not going to be surprised if this one's not in there also. So this is your other low pressure. Something I do want to make note of. It says in here and it says out right on the casting. So if you go, I'm confused about how to put this back together. This is the input side. All three of these heads have in and out cast into the body of them. Oh, there we have our spring. Piece is there, but the springs are missing. See, the spring here sets on top, and there's 3 springs here. And this spring, when it's unloaded, these springs have ample strength to hold the unloader up so the compressor runs properly. When that piston is pushed down by the unloader, this has enough strength to push down and unload the intake valve. That's a funny place to park a valve. Okay, so that being said, oh hey, they left the spring in this one. No valve, but they left the spring. This is the spring assembly that holds down on the valve. All this being said, we will show you the valve teardown of the other compressor, because you're not getting the full experience because there's a lot of valve parts missing. So the customer, in addition to taking all the valves out of it, wish he wouldn't have, kind of defeats some of the purpose of this channel, he also dropped all the oil out of it. And this is the end cover for the crankcase. Makes me wonder if they were in here.
Those did sort of fall out, didn't they?
That, and very often.
Oh my.
Oh, this has issues. That should be nice and square. This is slightly loose, and that's not a good thing. But as you can see, I don't even know where that came from. But we have one of the low friction connecting rods, and there's no connecting rod. Oh, they've had this all apart. Guys, we're cheating you. I'm going to finish this teardown, but we're going to show you the teardown on the other one. So stay tuned, that'll be a couple weeks from now. But we're going to finish this one right now because the connecting rod in the straight up cylinder is completely gone. There's not enough parts in here. So we're going to cut that wire and take those bolts out. But there's only one connecting rod that we're holding on. So Ken, did you go for a walk today with your camera?
I did not. I did not. It was
Is that because it was raining cats and dogs?
a little too sloppy out for me today. But yesterday, I saw a loon and a bald eagle and an osprey, and
Would you send us some pictures?
I certainly will.
We'll add those to the stills while we're messing around with this little stuff. Nice, bud. Why don't you drop something else? Okay, close-up time. Look how rounded out those holes are. They should be pretty round. They might be a little bit oblong just to get it lined up, but they're beat up. They're beat up where you can see the raw casting in the side of it. So, anyway, ooh, that's pretty rough. We'll show that when we get these off. Okay, we're going to take the 2 low pressure cylinders off. Okay. Okay, going one at a time, we're going to pull this out. Piston's gone. Piston's got damage from the rod. So the piston's shot, the rod's shot. What I am concerned with is what shape is the cylinder wall in. And cylinder wall's got a little bit of wear, but it might be usable. We'll find that out upon further inspection. I'll tell you this, just looking in at this one, I can see the hone marks still in the cylinder on this cylinder. So, yeah, I didn't take my Superman pill today. There we go. And there's another dead piston. That cylinder does not look bad, and it actually feels better than the other one. There were no gouge marks in the other one, but I could feel a little wavy mark at one point in it. This cylinder is in better shape than the other cylinder, I'm sure of that. Okay, the last one's going to be a little bit more work.
Because it's connected to the crank.
Yeah, exactly. So, just like the 242s, the 2545s, and the 234s we've worked on in the past, Ingersoll stayed with the same idea here. They have a sleeve that acts as your rod bearing, and they have your connecting rods, and it goes together just like those other smaller machines. But this one's bigger, beefier, more costly, more power. It's a Binford model. No, Tim Taylor, don't sue me for copyright. But anyway, so we're going to pop this one on. Oh, now we're getting side heavy because the big old crank is hanging out. Now I'm not concerned about this one falling all the way to the floor because the connecting rod's still connected. I'm going to stand here and catch it, but there should be enough friction should it decide to go somewhere. I'm going to show you guys a new secret trick. An ordinary butter knife. You've seen me hammer on putty knives in the past to separate gaskets. It is amazing how well that works compared to a putty knife. Oh, don't ask me to do that again, cameraman. Oh. So there we go. Let's pull this piston out. Oh, that piston didn't get chewed up with the other ones. And this one's a little tougher to see, but do you want me to get a light for that?
Well, I think we've got a pretty good view.
Oh, okay. I don't feel any major marks. I still see hash marks and hone marks, even in the top of it.
It looks pretty clean, doesn't it?
Okay. Folks, I'm going to go and tear the rest of this out. The crankshaft, we either press out or hammer out. There's a keeper ring on the end out here. We'll take that keeper ring off and hammer it out. And we're going to tear the other one down before we do an estimate. We might only get one machine out of two. That'll be up to the customer what he wants to spend. But we kind of cheated you today because there were no valve parts. But I made up for it with the awesome wildlife pictures supplied by Ken. So you weren't cheated, you got bonus today. That's it, folks. We sell parts for everything we work on here. So if you're looking for parts, give me a call. Leave a comment, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and go over and check Ken's channel out, Koine Korner. Am I saying that right?
Koine.
Koine Korner. And check it out, especially if you're a believer. But if you're like me and my rule for life number 4 is never stop learning, it's a great channel to go check out. God bless you. Thank you. Have a great day. We'll be back in 2 weeks with more teardown of the other one.
Hi, folks. The Compressor Guru spends a lot of time on the computer and out in the shop getting the videos ready for you to see on the channel. We're happy to help you learn how to fix your compressor. In addition, the Guru spends a lot of time on the phone with many of you as you call with your individualized compressor problems, and he is happy to help you be able to fix them. However, sometimes it's nice to be thanked in other ways. Once you've watched a video on YouTube of the Compressor Guru, if he has helped you and you want to thank him, there's a way to do that on YouTube. Down below the video, there's a place to like, give him a thumbs up. There's a place to comment. There's a place to subscribe. Subscribing, become a member so you can see our next videos coming out. And on the far right, there are 3 dots. When you click on those dots, the very top one says thanks, and it has a heart with a $sign in it. If you would like to do more than just verbally say thank you, and you may want to monetarily thank the Guru, he would appreciate it. Please feel free to click on there, and YouTube has it set up so that you can thank him monetarily for his time in helping you. Have a great day, everyone. God bless.
Oh, look at that. That's a connecting rod.
That's a free floating connecting rod.
Yes, it is. They work with much less friction than the regular kind.
They do, but they're less effective as well.
Much less effective. Okay, shut up.